All right, guys, so this is the one we're going to do here today. This is an extension cylinder out of a big reach fork. So what had happened was I was over at a customer's doing some line boring work, and they asked me if I could work on this for them. I guess they just had this back from a shop, getting some work done, getting resealed, and they ended up putting a new head on the barrel over here. They made a new gland for it, resealed it, and customer went and put it back in, and it wouldn't work. So they pulled it apart, and they found that there was a bunch of rags in it, and they left, I think they said 3 rags in this cylinder. So there's still one stuck in here. They got 2 of them out, or I don't know, but they got a bunch of them out already, and there's still one stuck in here in this port here. As you can see, it is stuck. So what I'm thinking we're gonna have to do is cut the end of this barrel off. We're gonna stick it in the lathe. It actually fits through the through hole, so we're gonna stick it in and set it all the way out. We'll just set the other end on this, and we'll turn it real slow, and we'll cut this off, get the rag out, and then weld it back. Yeah, kind of a crummy situation. Anybody that's a professional knows you don't use rags on hydraulic systems, and you can kind of see what they did here. We had to remove this tube that goes from one end to the other, so that we could cut it off. But you know, you can see the workmanship that they did on this. Pretty rough. Didn't knock off any of their berries, nothing. I mean, just real shit work. So you can kind of see, I don't know if this will focus all the way to the end there, but you can see the rag all the way in the end there. There it is. Yeah. So it's a full ass rag in there, but we'll bring you back once we got it in the lathe. All right, so this is the setup we got. You can kind of see it's a little long, goes through the tailstock, but it'll be fine. So we might end up putting a steady over here, you know, over here, but it'll probably be fine. We'll see what the chatter's like when we cut it. We're just removing this little weld here so we can pop it off. So I already center drilled it, put a center, hold it. And as you can see, we removed the tube. Wonderful berries. But yeah, so this was a little bit of a fight to get it in here. It's kind of long, but we got it. So yeah, we'll machine this, and we'll see if maybe I can set up the phone, show how I machine these out. So pretty simple. Just take a straight pointed tool and just, you know, plunge it in. You might have to take a left-handed cutting tool and come, you know, more from this side to avoid, you know, these shoulders, but could be good. All right, so we're back to this project. Couldn't find my stand for my phone, so you get to see progress video. But yeah, so you machine this down. This is the old weld. It's about as thick as it was here. I used just a standard pointed tip insert here, and we machined out the old weld back to our you know, with our weld prep as we're going. Just makes it a little faster. But what you're doing, this piece has a plug on it that comes into the base of this barrel, slides in about, you know, about that far usually. So what you do is you just machine down until you start, you know, you expose that, the parent metal. You'll know when you start seeing a little bit of smoke, that's from the old hydraulic fluid that's in there. And then, you know, if you get it proper, this will actually spin free as you're cutting it, and it'll just pop free. You know, or you could machine down to where you think it is. You can measure your thickness of your wall of your barrel, go in, and then you could tap it with a hammer, you know, and see if you see the split, heat it up, and then pop it out. You could do it that way too if these are press fit. Most of the time they're not, they're just slip fit. And then, you know, they hold them in here and then weld them. So yeah, that's what we did. And then we'll take this off, clean this old material off where that pipe is, and then get it all cleaned up. So we'll get this off and we'll see where the rag is. So we'll bring you back here in a second once we get this off, and we'll kind of check and see where this rag is. So I just popped this off. As you can see, that's the shoulder here that slides inside the barrel. But as you can see, there's our rag. It's jammed in there, and it goes all the way from here all the way into the hole here, you know, into the bottom, into that port. So it's in there pretty damn good. We might actually have to cut this off and then drill out that hole to get that out. It's in there. But yeah, that's how it came out. It's just, as you can see, you know, the worst part is somebody knew it was in there and they tried to get it out. And instead of doing what we did now to get it out the right way, they decided to scratch the hell out of the bottom of the barrel. So we'll have to try to hone that, see if we can't get some of that out. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll bring you back when we start trying to dig this out. We'll see what we do. But it's in there so good you could pick this whole thing up by the rag. And that's, you know, that was forced in there with hydraulics. So this is exactly why you do not use rags on cylinders. Imagine this goes into the pump. I've seen these in control valves sucked in like this, holding valves, pressure relief valves. You know, I've seen this. People do it instead of getting the rubber cone plugs or just the proper plugs for these. They'll stuff a rag in there, or a paper rag. Paper rags are a little bit better because they don't do this, but you're still sucking it through the hydraulic system, and it will ruin your hydraulic system. But I mean, this is, they're gonna have bits of this in the valves and everything. You know, you can see this is a mess, and this is one out of 3 or 4 rags that they got out of this machine. So you could imagine that going through your hydraulic system, what a disaster that would be. So anyway, we'll bring you back and see if we can't get this out. All right, so this is where we're at. This fucker was so jammed in there. I mean, this is hard as a rock right here. This is the rag. I mean, it is hard as a rock. And we twisted it out, and it decided to break off into the port. So we're gonna drill the rest of that rag out and move on with our lives. But yeah, that's where it's at. It's still stuck halfway in there. It goes all the way down about to there into the port. You know, so it goes all the way in there and it sticks out about, you know, yay far down here. So it's still from there to there stuck in this hole. What an absolute nightmare. And if you don't have a big enough lathe, I mean, this is a big lathe. It fits, you know, through there. 5-inch through hole, and it barely fits. So if you don't have a machine this size, you're not going to be able to do this type of work. You know, you're not going to be able to get that out right. You know, that's just a nightmare. Don't use rags, people. Don't use rags. So yeah, that's what we did. We drilled it out. It's about almost 4 inches to the bottom of this hole where that rag was, all the way down. We still got to do a little cleanup, get all this crap all cleaned off, get the old hydraulic off so we can weld it. And then, you know, we'll do the standard TIG weld, you know, 309 stainless root, and then we will do just spray MIG out for the rest of the way out. We still got to clean this off and re-drill this because we're going to put a fitting here to our hard line. Clean all this spatter off from the other the other company that messed with this before. So yeah, just a real mess. But yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up. We'll bring you back once we get it all lined back up and cleaned up. Show you the TIG and then the weld root out.